You're watching Frank Trades with Dex, where a trading novice, that's me, trades with a 20-plus year expert, the man known as Dex the Vulcan, Dex the Algo Capitalist, or just my main man, Dex. Dex is the head trader in charge at our room at watchustrade.io. Head over to watchustrade.io to learn more, to register for a free online live trading event, or to join our room where you can trade with Dex yourself.
Okay,
we're live now. There's an image of our test on the screen.
Wow.
Hey everybody, we're here, and hopefully you can hear us, and hopefully the audio sounds good. We already got 3 thumbs up. Thanks, folks. We appreciate that. Let me tell everybody in the room we're live because I did have to go and I had to restart my system, so we were a little later than usual. But welcome everybody who's here.
Care.
What's that?
The fans don't care. They love us.
All 4 of them currently watching.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, thanks for your patience, guys. So, let us know if everything's cool. We had a couple audio issues, but we got to fix it, so we fixed it. And Dex said, "Why can't we just do it like we do on the other channel?" I said, "Because what we do here is awesome, and it takes a little extra."
Got me on that one.
Nah, it's all awesome. It's just we got our own style of what we're doing here, so it takes a little bit more. Not programming, but a little more setup. So, what do I got on screen? So we were just on Rogue News, and we were talking about the FOMC.
And if you're trading it,
which whenever you say that, I just think of the Space Marine. Whenever you say that, I just think of the Space Marines from Halo. FOMC. I know it's not the same, but it's like a similar.
Oh yeah.
So. Well, I'm so selfish. I pull up my favorite crypto every time. But, so Dex, let's continue our discussion of the FOMC, because I know people inside Watch Us Trade, soon to be Pulse Wave Trading, probably have some questions, and our wonderful, mighty, powerful executive assistant, Jen, tells me that we're sounding good, which is awesome. I also want to officially squash this rumor that I am in any way a Canadian. There's no truth to that. I have no ties to Canada whatsoever. So it's fake news. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to Russian collusion me by saying I'm from Canada.
Wow.
So that's the
yeah. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
Exactly. So, no, nothing against Canada. I know we got a lot of Canadian friends in the room. So, hey, if you're Canadian, you're not going to get kicked out of Binance, I think, as far as I know. So you got things going for you too. You know, we can't all be Americans. So continuing our FOMC discussion, my main man Dex, you're basically saying, and this was a really important thing that I took away from the last one. You are generally flat. You have one short position, but it's a small one. You were joking about going all in and selling your possessions before, but the truth is, you don't try to you don't go crazy with these announcements and things like that. You actually ease into them very gently, don't you?
Yeah, by doing nothing. I am flat. Going into this announcement,
I'm
nothing. Raise no fool. I don't care what happens. I will wait for the dust to settle, then make my decisions. If the conditions have been met for a price trigger violation, if we have that, then I don't have a problem, sticking my toe in the water. But
did you literally just say, "Mama didn't raise no fool"?
There you go.
That's amazing to hear somebody use that in a sentence.
You would have to be the most silliest person on the planet to try to trade ahead of a monumental news report that you do not know the outcome of, nor do you know how the markets are going to behave on said outcome. See, that's the variable here, folks. Even if someone tipped you off because you had an uncle that worked at the Federal Reserve and you knew what the announcement was going to be, and they gave you the literature ahead of time so you could read the notes and know what the Fed's outlook and thinking was going to be. Even if you were given all of that, you still are at a loss because you do not know how the
Yeah.
markets will respond to that news. Markets have been known to rally on horrific information.
Yeah.
They've also been known to crash on wonderful information.
Yeah.
So you do not
It's not a
know
reasonable
how the
time to trade.
market's going to act.
And, this is one of the things that I really appreciate about you. And I think a lot of traders, at least trading novices, especially people who are, doing it as sort of a side thing. I'll include myself in this, so as not to offend anybody, but definitely have that mentality of like, maybe I could strike it rich on a big call. Maybe I'll be maybe I'll be short when the market finally turns over. And what I appreciate about you is, you're looking to make nice gains consistently, following trends, using the pulse waves, being reasonable. you're not trying to win the lottery with some crazy call, which is
No, trading is not
a
the
really
lottery.
great way to not lose your account.
That the last part you said is right on the money.
Yeah.
You're not trying to lose your shirt over this. This is not gambling. We're not trying to pick the right horse.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trading market trends. Cannot stress that enough because that's
Yeah.
exactly what we're doing. We're not doing anything else.
And you're never looking to trade off of something where you don't know what it's going to do. You want to trade off of likely price action, not, shot in the dark.
People who know me know that I do not trade off of, I don't take stock tips or any other kind of tips. Yeah. I don't do it. I do my own research. I let the system tell me what to do, and then I do it. Mm-hmm. I do not trade off of hints, gut feelings, tips, none of that stuff.
Well, before we get... Oh, and the other thing I wanted to point out from our previous discussions, I wanted to make sure that watches trade people up. There's our thumbs down for the day. Maybe they do it just because I mentioned it on air. The other thing I wanted to do right before we got off Rogue, I asked, what's your time frame? So you were saying you don't generally try to do anything with these necessarily. What's your time frame for holding back? And you said about 30 to 45 minutes in most cases. I wanted to make that clear. So I didn't want people to think, they're out for the whole day. There's no trading a day like today.
No, there are times where I will be out the whole day with no trading. It just depends on the situation. Yeah. Like I said, there are variables involved. Mm-hmm. The first one is you don't know what the news is going to be, and you don't know what the market's reaction is going to be to the news that you don't know what's going to be. In addition, then the second part of that is, I didn't look it up yet, so I don't know. But I don't know if they're going to be talking after the announcement comes out, or if they're going to be testifying before the House Senate Committee or whatever, the Finance Committee, or testifying on Congress or doing a press conference. You don't know that. But if they are speaking after the announcement, that's really going to delay the response because now people want to know what's on the Fed's mind.
Here's a really relevant question from Lon. How does that apply to forex, the forex markets?
It applies to every market. I don't care what the market is.
Okay.
Even if it's the chocolate chip cookie market.
So if you're in something, you would just mind your stops.
Yeah,
you don't necessarily
if you have
get
open positions, you're just going to make sure your stops are in on those open positions. You're going to try to protect your profit as best you can. So you're not going to be initiating any new positions. That's the rule. You don't initiate new positions. Old positions, just manage them like you would any other time. That's all. Just manage what you got.
All right. Let me before we move on, I want to just acknowledge a couple comments. First, I want to post this hello from Booger Fart Boy because anybody named Booger Fart Boy deserves a little attention. And so
I have to agree with you on that one.
Hello, Booger Fart Boy. Whoever you are, we love you. Nathan says Canadians have good bacon because I did offend Canada. I agree, Nathan. Thank you. Tim Hortons, Lon, you're absolutely right. Can't forget Tim Hortons. I think we used to have that I think there was one in Massachusetts I used to eat at, and it was pretty good. So, in fact, you know what? If I might be thinking of the wrong thing though. There was a chain there where one of the CEOs became like a really excited born again evangelical Christian, and he
Wow.
started doing things like buying. And I heard him speak in a chapel service once when I was in college, and he was an awesome guy. I don't know if it was Tim Hortons though. It might have been. I mean, I think I confused Tim Hortons with another one. I'm not sure, but he was an awesome guy, and he talked about he bought this billboard that said like Jesus saves or something like that because he was super rich. The guy was like a mega millionaire, but he was a super cool guy. I don't know if it was Tim Hortons or not though. I might be confusing that with a different chain. All right, cool. Let me see if there's any more immediately relevant questions, and then we'll start taking some chart requests. Lon is answering what we were saying. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good, Lon. That's definitely what you should do.
Yeah, remember that the slogan is bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. You never want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. It's unacceptable.
You know what? Before we're going to take that one, Corby, before we do that, let's look at a couple of just standard things. So first off, the most important chart, BitTorrent.
Most important chart or the
Why
ones
is it the
that
most?
you're in?
Why is it the most important chart? Because I'm controlling the chart.
There you go.
So so here we are. We're looking at BitTorrent against Tether and Binance. Actually, this is the 4 hour. I should bring up the daily over here. So we've got for those of you watching, we always have the weekly on the right and the daily on the left. And in terms of just doing a quick chart reading, that's what Dex is looking at. I have to be honest, Dex, I haven't even looked at the pulse waves for this one in a day or two. Just being a little busy up in my house. That sounded way too. I don't usually actually speak that way. Way too busy up in my house.
You just did.
Just didn't sound right when I said it. I almost wanted to say busy because of the rhyme, because I am a songwriter. I wanted to say I've been just way too busy up in my hizzy.
He's on a roll. What is that, BTT?
And Jen is telling me that I'm wrong about Tim Horton. He was a Canadian hockey player. So apparently,
all right. This time I'm not going to make that
BTT.
mistake of not consulting the pulse waves.
Yeah,
that's BTT,
just thinking
right?
That. BTT.
All right.
Please tell me what the pulse waves are telling me.
Coming into today, BTT had a crash alert.
And that's why you should look at the pulse waves.
That explains what's happening right now with your price action. Yeah, it showed that the coming into today, you did have some positive momentum, but you had that crash alert, and you're in a well-defined downtrend or bear market. So yeah, it looks like the crash alert is manifesting. It's showing its head a little bit, but it really isn't. Not necessarily crashing or correcting. It's not hitting new lows. So until we hit new lows, I'm going to say the crash alert has not necessarily played out yet, because it hasn't.
Okay.
But it's a bearish call for today. You got a sell signal.
Yeah, if only I had access to the pulse waves, I could have known this before today.
I know, man. See?
Too busy.
I'm
answering everyone else's questions and stuff like that, and not looking for myself some days. It's ridiculous. All right, let's look at. Yeah, indeed, man. I need to pay more attention. So let's look at. I like this Bitcoin chart. Let's look at this one. I think this is the Coinbase chart. And for those of you worried about the changes with Binance, we are continuing to look at it. And we're actually pretty, I don't know, I should say I'm somewhat hopeful that they'll actually come out with their U.S. exchange before it becomes a problem, but we'll see.
Bitcoin also has a crash alert coming into today, and it's in a well-defined bull market with bullish momentum locked in. So
and look, well, yesterday's candle was pretty.
Yeah, the system is warning that the market is getting a little exhausted up here. So you can't ignore these crash alerts that have not manifested yet.
Yeah.
right? Just because they haven't manifested yet doesn't mean it's not coming. We're getting back-to-back sell signals, in this market. Now,
Gotcha.
the intraday price action has not confirmed it, but that doesn't mean that you get to ignore it. You need to, protect those profits, folks. Can't stress it enough. Protect those profits because of the alerts that are coming. We had 2, 3 days ago. We had a new low signal that came into place, which was dangerous for the market.
Right.
The market since rallied from that, recovered from that very nicely, and the market hasn't looked back yet. It's been ripping and roaring.
Cool.
So please be mindful, folks. The system sometimes can lead the market 3 to 5 days out. All right. And if the signal becomes invalidated after that, then fine. You don't have to fear it anymore. But if you start seeing those back-to-back signals come in, you would do well to observe them. The last time we had a back-to-back crash alert in Bitcoin was on May the 15th and May the 16th of this year. And if you take a look at what happened after that, the market fell, I want to say, $600.
Wow.
Yep. So don't take the alerts lightly.
Yeah, man.
Watch them.
So those are back-to-back on the daily, obviously.
Well, we don't have back-to-back on the daily. I'm just saying within the
okay.
last 3 trading sessions, we've had 2 cautionary sell
So
signals.
watch it. Yeah, it's making its way through the weekly Kumo cloud pretty nicely.
Yeah, it is. It's
hasn't been too bad.
It is. If you're long, you're
pretty
strong.
Good, actually. Yeah.
You got to protect those profits.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Dex, is there anything you wanted to look at before we look at anything else? Taking some requests
I
here.
want to take a look at some of these. Actually, I wanted to look at the rally alerts for the day. And we have a couple. Pull up the Australian dollar, because someone asked me about that earlier. Pull up the Australian dollar.
Lon.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So coming into today on the Australian dollar, we did have a possible rally alert for the day. But because the market is in a strong, powerful bear market right now,
very powerful.
We have to, take a look at that too. So the signal was not violated today. The market just could not muster enough strength within the intraday price inflection points, and so it didn't hit it. It sold off. Not at all.
So let me. We don't do enough commercials on this. I mean, this. Let me explain to people what that means. So when Dex says there was a rally alert and it did not manifest, that means anybody who had taken that particular trade did not get into it, and therefore didn't lose money. That's the way our system works. That if something doesn't take shape with the price action, then it didn't matter, and so it's not going to hurt you, which is a really powerful aspect of the pulse wave price trigger system. So
yes,
that's my little commercial. Yeah,
it's designed to protect you and keep you out of would-be bad trades. It gives you those signals, though. It's not shy in giving you buy and sell signals.
Yeah.
But if those intraday price inflection points, market conditions are not met, you will not be put in harm's way.
Case in point, man. I won't give the price away, but the pulse waves. I'm not gonna. The pulse waves have kept me out of BitTorrent for a couple days now. And so, that's really good. So if let's say that I was looking at the weekly. Actually, it's kept me out for a few days. I believe
as the price was falling too.
If let's say I used the system perfectly and wasn't a moron. Okay.
Oh boy.
I am not a moron. I always quote that all the time. There's this great quote from a movie that I'm the only person who has seen. I always go, I am not a moron. And it just sounds like me saying that because nobody saw that movie. So
what movie is it?
It's a great quote from Firefly. Wait, what was the Firefly movie?
I have no
Serenity.
idea.
You didn't watch Firefly the series and then Serenity the movie?
Nah.
Oh, your life is. Do you like sci-fi?
Yeah, but I guess I just missed that one.
Well, there was a show on Fox. It was produced by the guy who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, whose name doesn't come to mind. And it had one season, like 22 episodes, and it was amazing. It was really, really great. This was years ago, called Firefly, and it was kind of it had a sort of Star Warsy kind of feel to it, or at least I should say the captain had sort of a Han Solo feel. I'll put it that way. And then they got canceled because Fox cancels anything that you like, and then they came back with a full-fledged movie to kind of close it out, and that's a quote from the movie. But not everybody rewatches mildly successful sci-fi movies over and over again like I do.
I like that.
So anyway, my point being, if I had been really careful with the pulse waves on this one and really obedient to 2-Bar Charlie, because I have to be honest, sometimes I tend to be like, well, I got it at a good price. I don't know if I want to get out. I'll let this ride a little bit. And what I'm finding is that mentality, that kind of hodl mentality, keeps biting me, because what would have happened is I would have gotten here. I probably would have gotten out with a pretty nice profit somewhere around here, and then I would have avoided it for like 2 more days at least, and now we're here. So I'm just saying, like, the pulse waves can be a very powerful way to trade something, and I've been saying on air for a while I'm just trading this, and I'm still well into profit on it, because some of the moves have been so powerful. But I would be much more in profit had I just been really diligently following the system, using 2-Bar Charlie, and watching it like a hawk. I've been a little bit distracted, so I haven't been watching it like a hawk. But just to throw that out there for those of you who are using the pulse waves.
All right, powerful point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you, Dex. I'm here to confess my sins and vulnerability whenever it will help people in the audience. That's the preacher instinct. Let me confess stupid things I've done to try to help you.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
We had another good question though. Someone just
yeah.
asked,
Sorry. Let me get to these questions. Go ahead.
But they said they want to know have I ever had an extreme trade like no other? Yes, I have. I've had some good ones and I've had some bad ones.
Extremes comes in 2 types.
Yeah, I'll start off with the my first really good one was 9/11. I had gotten my entire book. That's my back in my broker days. All of my clients, my entire book, I got short. I loaded up on S&P 500, Dow, and Dow puts, and Nasdaq didn't have any futures, didn't have any options at the time, so it was just Dow and S&P puts, and the market was looking like it was about to correct, so I just loaded up on them. Didn't know anything about no 9/11. All right, so I'm not going to front. Just got lucky. So most of my accounts, when 9/11 happened, the market closed for a week, reopened. The majority of all of my accounts doubled.
Wow, doubled.
They doubled
That's
their
incredible.
accounts, yes, in a week. So
Wow.
that was really, really, really nice. That was my first experience with an extreme.
Obviously, terrible circumstances, but
right. Now, so then the next one came. The market will make you pay it back at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So my next extreme situation came trading crude oil. I made a mistake. I did not check the contract month. I just assumed I'm trading front month, no problem. I was unaware that it was contract rollover day, and that they'll be switching out the contracts. Before all was said and done, before the day was over, I was down $10 in crude oil.
Yikes.
I don't mean I lost $10.
No, I know you don't mean
I mean crude oil fell $10 in one day.
Oh, that's terrible.
I lost $4,000 that day.
Yikes.
Off of a mistake. Had I known and was paying attention, the system would have never gotten me in that trade that day. But because I did not check, I got burned.
Yeah.
That was one of the most extreme market moves I'd ever been in. But it wasn't the only one. If you trade futures long enough, you will get caught in what is called a lock limit move. I got caught in a lock limit move in soybean futures. I used to place my tickets before the market even opened. Call down to the trading floor, here my tickets, take my, place my trades when the market opens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they still do it to this day, I believe, but back then you had what is called market calls in the commodity futures markets. So before the markets open, like especially with the grains, they would tell you what the market is called at to open.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, they may say, okay, beans are called to open up, you know, 2 cents,
Beans. Mm-hmm.
higher on the open, just a little helpful stuff like that. Well, on this day, they said beans are called lock limit on the open. It was too late. There was nothing I could do. I was already exposed. I had a short ticket on. I was short in the market when it
Mm-hmm.
happened, and I couldn't get out of the market. The market lock limit up on me. And back then, a lock limit move was 30 cents. For those of you who
Wow.
do not know what 30 cents is the equivalent of $1,500 per contract per day that the market locks limit. And then the limit goes up. So if the lock limit back then was 30 cents, the next day it may be 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third day it could go up to 70 cents. So I was fortunate to get out the following day, but I got burned, got caught in that lock limit move, and it hurt me. Now, one of my second best trades of my life was during the 2008 financial crash. Um,
Wait,
your
this is a
boy
good one or a
Barney
bad one?
Frank. This is a really good one.
Mm.
Your boy Barney Frank was
Not
like,
my boy.
a deal has been done. It's a guarantee. It's a done deal. I'm telling you, it's a done deal. 5 minutes later, comes back and say, "There's no deal. There's
No
absolutely no deal."
deal.
Even though he just said minutes ago that it was a done deal, it was a guarantee, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So it took my money on that trade. Took my money. So when that happened, I said, "Okay, I'm gonna have to fade this dude. Now I see what they're doing." So he came back out, and this time, he told the truth, right?
Yeah.
The market ran, and when I say it ran, I mean like it was like 100 S&P points. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I walked away with 30 grand
Holy
in like
cow.
8 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was my second biggest trade that I ever did. Yep. And as far as making that kind of money in minutes. But yeah,
Wow.
so yeah,
Insane.
those are
All
those are
right.
extreme trades I've been in.
That's cool. That was interesting. Let's knock these out. So Corby, XRP and GLD, please. So I already have the XRP up for you, Dex. If you want to take a look, there it
XRP.
is. We've been
All
talking
right.
about this one. It keeps coming up against that Kumo cloud on the weekly, and getting rejected.
Yeah.
And then if I can zoom out on the daily. Well, I can't zoom out that much. Well, I think
People love their crypto, don't they?
yeah, they do. Yeah, it's been very. We talked about this. This continues to have a bearish look to it, despite all the other moves in crypto. So
Yeah, well, unfortunately, coming into today, you do have a bear market that's happening, but the bear market's been in correcting mode, meaning that you've been rallying off of the lows. But you came in today with with a crash alert, and it seems like the market is having a problem uh, maintaining a rally today. So it still remains under bearish pressure,
okay.
even though the market's trying to take advantage, excuse me, of this rampage on the daily.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
And
not there.
here's
It's just
GLD.
okay.
Sorry, I'm moving quick.
GLD is still bullish. Gold is still in an uptrend cycle right now. So you can't. ignore what you're seeing in this gold. The question is though, how is it the market going to behave after these announcements today? Well, all I can tell you is the face of the market is it's in a well-defined bull market with locked-in bullish momentum. So I see, as of right now, continued upside potential. There's nothing bearish that is manifesting in the market at this time.
Okay. JC's Freak. How does EOS look? So let me pull that one up. I was just getting it ready. It wasn't in my list. It was just a surprise. Here's EOS on the weekly and the daily. Let me pull out on the weekly. I'm trying to see where there's not enough data on that one to show where the Kumo cloud is. So let
Yeah,
me see if I can
EOS
pull up a
coming
better
into
one.
today. This one is in a well-defined bear market, and it had a crash alert coming in today. It looked like the market got a little technical bounce in there, and it looks like the bears were ready to sell it off. And that's pretty much what you see happening today. The market is under some weakness.
Here's another chart. Has it in the squarely in the Kumo cloud on the weekly.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, market's struggling. It's still under a lot of selling
it's
pressure
looking
right
better.
now.
It's the general chart's looking better than XRP anyway.
Yeah, I know,
All right,
right?
let's see what else.
It's been trying to correct off those lows, and
D
it's
did
done a nice
trigger
job, but
the
looks like it's
short.
coming under pressure now.
Lon, the Aussie dollar did trigger the short, so he's in short. Nice, man. System
Oh
worked for him.
wow, okay.
So we were talking about how the long didn't get triggered. This is our powerful executive assistant. Also has seen Serenity. Fist bump to Jen. So Danny says his name. This is from before.
Ha 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 ha.
All right. Knew this was coming. Litecoin. Let me pull that up. We love our Litecoin, and Litecoin's been having a nice go
Litecoin's been on fire, and the reason why
on
it's been on fire
fire. Let me get this
is
out of the
because
way.
it's in a well-defined uptrend with locked-in bullish
Even
momentum,
better than Bitcoin.
and there's nothing bearish on the chart, and the algos have not picked up anything bearish in the
Do you
underlying market either.
do you consider this a pointer dex, or is it not strong enough?
On the weekly, it's kind of a pointer.
Kinda. It's like a lame
In
pointer.
other
Yeah.
words, I think that I don't see prices like zooming past it per se,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
prices will probably try to level up to it. I think what you're going to see with that type of a pointer that normally suggests a continuation pattern that's exhausted. See the last one that we got? You see those three red candles in a row on the weekly chart? That's
Mm-hmm.
usually what that's
Sorry, I'll
following.
get out of the way here. Sorry, I'm blocking
So
everybody.
it's basically looking like we could be
You're
seeing,
talking about these.
yeah. See, you see the pointer on that green bar. It matches the one that we have right here. They're the
Oh,
same.
interesting.
Yeah, they're
So
the
what's that
same.
telling you?
We could be topping out.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we could
Let me
possibly,
pull this up.
but like I said, there's
Trying to find a
nothing
Neo chart.
bearish in the algo, and there's nothing bearish on the chart per se at this time. So you are going to be in the mode of protecting profits as usual.
Okay, here's Neo chart. This is the Binance chart.
Neo Geo. Okay, let's see. So on the Neo, you got a well-defined bull market with locked-in bullish momentum, but you have a crash alert that seems to be playing out so far. Market is under some selling pressure at this time.
Okay.
So this is definitely one to watch. And you do have what is called a consolidation right now
Mm-hmm.
because you got two pointers, two spike pointers, a bullish one and a bearish one. So what I think is the market's going to float around in here and test out the bearish one first, build a little support, and then it's going to bounce rally from there and test that green pointer there.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, the bulls are still in favor on this one.
Gypsy Tree. When is we talked about it quite a bit already with the FOMC,
Yeah,
which
no,
I
on
looked
our
up and
last show we talked
does
about it
not
with
stand for Space Marines from Halo. I looked that up just for those of you who thought so. Do you know when it is, though? I did want to ask that. And while
They
I'm
usually
doing
do
that,
it
I'm
at
getting the next symbol.
2:15. Yeah, they normally do it around 2:15. So yeah,
2:15.
it should be around there between 2 and
I already
2:15.
have this one.
They've done it early before, like 2 o'clock, but I think today is 2:15.
All right,
like
I gotta find this. See if this one is in my list. It's not. I gotta get it. So give me 1 second. So asking for I think that's Zcash.
Actually, let's look. They're gonna do it at 2 o'clock today. Now I'm looking at it.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's looking like. Hold on.
Let's look at. Here's the Binance chart.
Yeah, I think it's 2 o'clock today, you guys.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, just
and
be ready. Be
yeah,
ready by 2 o'clock.
Reiterate. Dex was saying 30, 40 minutes usually after you kind of know what's happened and can make your decisions after that. All right, this is Zcash on the weekly and the daily. This chart is not a very old chart, but this doesn't have a ton of data.
All right. Well, Zcash coming in today is in a well-defined bull market with locked-in bullish momentum, and there's nothing bearish in the algos to suggest anything at this time. So this one, you want to protect your profits and see how long you can ride it. Very bullish. Yeah. No sign of topping out yet.
And Jeffrey Dahmer, good morning. Good morning, Jeffrey. We hope you're well. You terrify us that you watch every day. And all right, cool. We're wrapping it up. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for all those thumbs up, and please like and subscribe if you haven't. We really appreciate it.
Do the thumbs up.
Yeah, that it really is helpful to us, and we're noticing our view numbers are going up. This channel's it's not new; it's Dex's channel, but we're paying a lot more attention to it than we have, and so we really appreciate you joining us and watching and hanging out. So that's it, Dex. Any final thoughts on the FOMC today?
Wait and see is all I can say.
Will they defeat the covenant once and for all? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I used to do, Frank, back in the day is I would do FOMC live.
Oh yeah.
Or I would go live doing the FOMC. Do it? Yeah. So if you want to, we can possibly do that at 2 o'clock.
Who would like a 2 p.m. FOMC?
Yeah, show of hands.
Show of hands. Show of likes and thumbs. Most of them have already liked and thumbed up, but I'm getting a bunch of thumbs up coming in. So Max, It's funny, Max, that you point this out because I've been known in several circles for my fist bumps, and I've had old clients who said, I don't know why Frank keeps punching me, but it's. I'm
gonna ask it in the trade room too, real quick.
I'm sure they would, man. Let's do that. So we're looking at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna go on and sort of watch the FOMC, see what happens, and. Yeah, getting a lot of Lon says, do it live. All right, yeah, no, I mean, come on, these people. There's not a lot of people.
The reason why yes. Normally I would say, don't worry about it, you guys. I'm going to lunch. But
early lunch today. If you want lunch, you got to go now.
Today, and I know there's going to be a million questions. I know we're going to have questions depending on what happens. Now, if nothing happens, it'll be a short live FOMC. I'll give you my take on what's going down, and then we'll do what we do. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool, everybody's is in play today. Bank of Japan, ECB, they're all in play, meaning that we're going to see if they're all in concert together or is one section doing something different. We'll see. And then this weekend's coming up. G20. There's a lot going up, folks. A lot going on, and we want to get what the reaction is in these markets and stuff. So, and I would like to know too if I'm going to be trading today or not. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
One last request before we go. Someone requested Binance Coin. I want to say, I know the Binance news wasn't fun for those of us who use it the other day, but man, the more I look at the Binance, their decentralized exchange is looking really cool. They're doing a coin, if I understand it correctly, and A decentralized exchange is known as a DEX, by the way, which is going to be very confusing. I was thinking of some products we could do for DEXs, and I'm like, it'll just confuse the hell out of people. Sign up for the DEX report or something like that, and they'll be
I
like,
know, right?
what? Huh? But decentralized exchange is one that is I don't know how to explain it in technical terms, so I'll go out on a limb and potentially sound stupid. But for example, Fork Delta, Ether Delta, those are decentralized exchanges where you're going in there. The only thing you're doing is essentially connecting via a wallet to the exchange itself, and there's no intermediary. Okay, it's a very it's one of those things that you can only do with cryptos, So they have their decentralized exchange, and one of the things they came out with, Index, tell me what you think about it. I think this is really cool. I'm imagining there's a technological limitation with Bitcoin that you couldn't use it on a decentralized exchange the way you could use certain other coins. So what Binance has done, and that's an assumption I'm making, but I think I'm right. What Binance has done is created Bitcoin-backed token that kind of like we have like our stable coins with like USDT and stuff like that. They created a Bitcoin one that's run off of the BNB token so that you can trade Bitcoin on their decentralized exchange.
Oh, that's slick.
Yeah. Remember, okay. I wanted to see if I'm like if I described it right, Dex is gonna like it.
Yeah. If this is like what we were saying, you guys. This whole regulatory environment thing is a good thing because cryptos need it. The crypto space is the wild, wild west. Everybody knows it. And
this is a way to fight that, though.
Yes,
I know what you're saying. There's sort of two sides to me. I like the idea of stable markets that you can trade and things being regulated, and you're not going to get clobbered because of some hack on an exchange, which is something they'll often use as an excuse to steal your money.
Right.
Although Binance has proven to be a very trustworthy company in my humble opinion.
Right.
But a decentralized exchange means you can't KYC me ever because you don't know who I am. Right. You can't dictate what I do with those tokens. I'm logging in using the wallet. At least I don't know if the Binance DEX is like this, but things like Fork Delta, Ether Delta, all you're doing is connecting your wallet either directly or using something secure like MetaMask, and you can go in there and you're trading directly with people. Now the downside is they're very rudimentary. You're just placing buy and sell orders, and there's very low volume. If the Binance DEX improves on that, that'd be fantastic. So I'm going to be taking a serious look at that in the next few days and see what it's like. I'm coming late to the game on that, but
I'm going to tell you why I think
I'm excited about what they're doing.
Because Binance is a very well trusted entity out there, and what they're saying is, look, we're going to throw our hat in the ring, and we're going to still offer the decentralized exchange experience for those that need it, but we're going to make sure you can do it in a safer and a more efficient and effective way. And the reason why you can trust Binance is because they have a not necessarily segregated account way of doing things, but in the last situation that they did go into their own pockets, and they backed all.
Yeah, they have their SAFU.
That's as close you can get to that's as close you can get. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's great that they're still offering the traditional setup, but we can also do other things too.
I was actually worried about my mic being too loud. Thanks. I did lower it a little bit. Tell me, does that sound better? I have a pretty strong mic, and since it's recording from my computer, it tends to be louder. So let me know in comments if that helped. But I appreciate the feedback. All right, cool. I think we're done for the day. It's cool stuff. So we're going to be back at 2 for FOMC, where we'll be live gaming Halo. No, that's not what we're doing. Sorry. This is a stupid joke that has long outlived its usefulness.
I think it's perfect because that would be funny if we were doing that.
Imagine we come on at 2:00 and it's just me and you in Blood Gulch playing Halo.
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Where's the market news, Black?" I don't know what you're
talking about. We told you guys we're doing the USMC.
It is what it is. I'm hoping that it's not a big deal, but like I said, you just never know. There's so much going on right now, folks. You just don't know. So we'll see. We will see.
We'll catch you folks, as another person said, we'll catch you on the flippity. All right.
Yep.
We're out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.
Peace.
Thanks for watching. To sign up for one of our live trading demos or to just join the room so that you can get in and trade with Dex, go to watchustrade.io. Thanks.